You're listening to the Business Brain Food Podcast. This is episode number 122.
Welcome to the podcast that gives you direct access to the world's leading business building experts. Head to maxmyprofit.com.au to catch up on past episodes, download your free business growth tools, and access show notes for every single episode. Now here's your host, Ben Futrell.
Well, g'day and welcome to another Business Brain Food episode, my friends. This is the podcast. It's 100% devoted to taking you and your business to the next level. And the good news is, doesn't matter whether you're brand new to this business thing and you're just scratching that entrepreneurial itch, or maybe you're like myself and you've got the scars and wounds to prove of many, many years in business. Either way, there's always something new we can do to take our business to the next level. And today's absolutely no different. In fact, what I'm going to do today is something a little bit different to what you've probably experienced in the past when it comes to these episodes. What I've done is I've been sort of chatting to some of the people that we work with through MaxMyProfit and the businesses that we help grow. And I've done a couple of interviews with and case studies with clients that we've worked with. And I wanted to share those with you today. And I'll get to those very, very shortly. Before I do, I want to say welcome back if you are a long-time listener and you've listened to all 120-something episodes. Congratulations and welcome back. It's great to have you back on board this week. And I appreciate you tuning in every week. If you are enjoying the podcast, by the way, jump into the iTunes store and leave an honest review or rating. I really do read them all. Love to hear back your feedback. And if you're enjoying the show, it's great to hear about what it is you love about the show, and it lets other people know as well. If you're a first-time listener, welcome. Welcome to the Business Brain Food Podcast. Great to have you on board, and hopefully you're going to enjoy it. This episode is a little different to normal. Normally what I would do is I would interview an expert in a field or something, business, about a product or a service, or it could even be an entrepreneur, like last week where we spoke with Gus Kennard from Kennard's about, that's an amazing story, very insightful. And really enjoyed chatting with Gus about his thoughts on building a big business and a family business of that, which was awesome. But this week, what I'm doing is I'm talking to a couple of entrepreneurs that are a little less known, but still amazing people doing amazing things. And I can't wait to share their stories with you, which we'll do very, very shortly. Before I do that, I wanted to let you know about something that's coming up that's exciting. Now, I quite often get asked through social media channels or people bumping into me, when am I running my next live events? I haven't done any this year yet. But I'm about to go on tour, and we will be in Brisbane, Sydney, and Melbourne at the beginning of throughout March. And the way you can find out where we are, what time, and what venues is to go to businessfasttrack.com.au. Now, this is an event which is great for you if you're in business and you're looking for ways to grow your business without working crazy hours, and you want to work a bit smarter rather than a bit harder. This event's for you. What I do is I'm going to take you through my 5 stages of business growth. In fact, what I've done is developed a 5-stage business acceleration blueprint, and I'm going to share that with you. I'm going to share you about the 5 different stages of growth and what it is that you're probably missing that could be costing you a lot of money, because a lot of people skip some of these steps. And what it means is that you end up with holes in your plan, in your systems, in your business that cost you a lot of money. So I'm going to take you through these 5 stages. It's a complimentary free event, goes for 2 hours. Now, a lot of people say to me, Ben, why do you do these events for free? Well, in fact, they cost me money. I actually pay you to come because it costs me money to put them on. But I do it because I understand that it's no different to test driving a car, right? You want to get to know a bit about what we do, who we are, and what I stand for, what my values are, before making a decision whether or not you want to deal with us. So I'm always big on running these free events. I get to meet you. Now, if it's not for everybody. When you go to the event, you may say, you know what, well, Ben teaches, or I don't like Ben, I don't mind. At the end of the day, if you come along and you learn one thing, just one thing. And that's what I say to people. If you just get one thing that changes the direction of your business or gives you more sales or more leads or more profit in your business or more time to spend with your family or whatever, if you just get one thing, it's been a good investment of your time. And it's my opportunity to be able to meet you, show you what I do. And if you love what we do, then at the end, I'll give you the opportunity to book in a meeting to find out more about how we can help. I don't do any, there's no wildly crazy sales pitches or any of those tactics at my events. I just don't do it. My events are all filled They're all about making sure that you get great value, regardless of whether or not you want to deal with me afterwards, and that's what I'm all about. So head to businessfasttrack.com.au. That's all one word, businessfasttrack.com.au. And you can choose a venue and time that suits you. As I said, throughout March, we will be in Melbourne, Brisbane and Sydney, and running events in those places. You can come along and see what we're up to. The other thing is that if you are listening to this podcast after March of 2017, go to that website anyway, because if I am running any upcoming events, they will be on that website, businessfasttrack.com.au. All right, let's get stuck straight into today's interviews. I think, one of the things that I get asked a lot is how is it that we actually work with a business? And I've got two of my clients that I'm talking to today on the podcast. The first one is Darren Clark. Now, Darren is a plumber, and he's got a plumbing business. He's been working with us for, I think, about 18 months, maybe 2 years. And, we've sort of got work together because he wanted to fix the money drain. Pardon the pun, but, his business was not going well. Whilst he knew his trade well, which most plumbers would, he was encountering major problems in running his business. He was losing money. He was working with the wrong types of clients. He was experiencing a high staff turnover. He was working long hours, and he realised that it was a sink or swim situation and that he needed help fast if he was going to figure out how to operate better. And so he started working with us. Now, when we started working with him, his main challenges facing the business were that he had a lot of poor targeting going on in decision making and inadequate understanding of money issues, and was working long hours for minimum return. So I'm going to let Darren tell you a bit about his business and and what it has meant to him to be able to fix these issues. You're going to hear from him what it is that he's done to fix the issues and how he's turned this business around. So he's now in a much better position. He's bought a new fleet of trucks and some exciting things are going on. So without any further delay, let's get Darren onto the podcast.
Business Brain Food.
So joining me today in the studio is Darren Clark from CPC Plumbing. Darren's been working with one of our business accelerators now for a little while. How long have you been working with us, Darren?
Yeah, it should be on about 2 years now.
2 years. Wow, great stuff. And I can see you're starting to do some good things and you get some good direction. So why don't you tell everybody a little bit about what you do? It's a brief rundown of your business.
Yeah, we're maintenance plumbers based in the Hills District. I've been there for 20 years now. So that's sort of basically in a nutshell what we're about.
Okay, and before you worked with us, what was your business looking like? What sort of prompted you to decide to work with one of our team?
The business, when I look back now on it, it was a mess. At the time, we didn't realise how much of a mess it was in. We were sort of working for people which weren't the best fit for our company, didn't know who we should be working for and who we'd like to work for, now we've been able to identify them and go in that direction.
Okay, and when you say that, what do you mean there were certain companies you were working with that you weren't happy working with, or?
Yeah, we sort of, we were working for older builders at the time and they retired and then sort of try and move forward and keep the business going. We ended up taking on builders who really weren't the best fit and sort of made the mistake of that.
Probably a common problem for a lot of businesses.
Probably would be, I guess.
Just taking on whatever they can get.
Yeah.
And how did that affect your business? Was it profitable? Was it not profitable?
No, we could see we were losing money, but where it was that we were losing it, we didn't know about. And so we're having troubles there. And we could see that, but just didn't know how to fix it.
Okay. And were you working hard? Were you working a lot of hours trying to make this work?
Yeah, we were doing a lot of hours in the business, taking on people who really weren't right for us, apprentices, and evidently turning over a lot of staff as well at the time.
And so before working with us, what was it that helped you make those decisions? You just did what you thought you had to do, or you're following a system? Or?
Yeah, in a way, sort of being dragged along a bit by other people around us, what you'd hear at the supply shops and all the negativity with that. And so we sort of just were following what we thought was right, but obviously wasn't.
Yeah, okay. And how was your personal life at that point of view? Was your business having much of an impact on you personally?
Yeah, definitely. Not making profits that we would like to. We weren't able to do the things we wanted to do personally. Trying to put kids through school and all that. Yeah, that was very, very difficult.
Bloody kids, eh? They cost us money. They keep costing us forever.
Yeah.
So, when you first sort of came across our services, what was it that motivated you to take that first step?
The first step was a case of we were sort of in dire straits. It was close the business down, or what else can we do? And the coaching sort of presented itself to us, and we thought, well, we'll try this as a last-minute effort to save our business.
It was a last resort?
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, okay. And so how quickly was it after sort of coming across MaxMyProfit and the coaching services did you start working with us?
Pretty much straight away. We went straight into coaching with one of your coaches, and straight away he identified areas and got us on the track pretty quickly, or let us know what we needed to do to be on the right track.
Yeah, because I think one of the things a lot of people want is that real quick fix. It's not a quick fix, is it?
No, definitely not.
Yeah. So how long was it before you started to see a return on investment and started seeing some results?
Started seeing results sort of around the 12-month mark. By that time, we were able to identify and put together budgets and that, so we knew where we needed to be, and we were able to then start working towards those budgets and making it all happen.
Yeah, great stuff. Because I think sometimes people think it is going to be a quick fix, but we don't have magic wands here, unfortunately. I wish we did. What do you think was the main catalyst for change for you? What was the clincher? What was it that made you?
I suppose running your own business for me, the idea of failing in that, it was pretty hard to take. And so that was the idea of, rather than close the business up, let's go down coaching and try that and see if that's going to work for us.
Yeah, quite a motivator, isn't it?
It is, very much so.
Yeah, okay. And so 2 years down the track now, what's the business look like today compared to what it looked 2 years ago? Yeah, so it now looks like we've got 2 apprentices on board, just employed an operations manager who's a senior tradesman as well. Myself, I'm sort of 50-50 in the business as opposed to working on the business, and my wife's in the background. She does all the budgeting and stuff like that. We've been able to identify the customers we want to work for. We're now at the process of finding them. We've got a few on board, but we're still looking for a few more. Yeah, we know where our profits are, where they're coming from, and how to move forward from this point on. Yeah, okay. And now how has that made a change for you personally now, knowing that you've got a budget and a plan and you're... Yeah, personally, we're just able to identify things we want to do in the future and know we can make that happen. There's a few promises I've made to my son and stuff when he finishes school, so that's all there, and it's all going to happen in the background. Yeah, great stuff. So what are the long-term goals now for your business? The long-term goals in the next 4 years, I want to be able to put a truck, a tradesman and an apprentice on the road, so one each year for the next 4 years. Build it up to a point where I'm not having to be on the tools at all. And I just drive the marketing side of it, and the other boys can take care of everything else. Sounds awesome. What I'm looking for. Yeah. Sounds awesome. So what are some of the tangible results you've seen? I mean, you said 2 years ago that was either shut the business down or, give it a good hard kick and see if you can get it going. Mm-hmm. So back then I'm imagining things were looking pretty dire and grim. Very much so, yeah. So what are some of the tangible results? What have you seen happen with your sales and with your profitability? Sales and profitability, I know now where to look to find more work and the work we want. Our trucks were dead. I'd been flogging them to death for years. We've been able to get new trucks, put on, as I said, an operations manager now. Just having those goals, having goals that the team can see and they can become part of, and just making everybody sort of a team that works together. Yeah. And have you seen an increase in your sales figures? Yes, definitely. Yeah. So what sort of a percentage increase have you seen over the last couple of years? In sales, it would probably be around about between 50-60% in sales. Nice. Yeah. And what about profitability? I'm imagining profitability is better now. Yeah, that's sort of up around 80%. Nice. More profit, yeah, nice stuff. And what about your working hours? I mean, you mentioned before you're now sort of working 50-50 in the business and on the business. And for a lot of people, working on the business is extremely foreign, Yeah. But how are you going with your working hours now? You're working less hours or the same amount of hours but just in different areas? Or? Yeah, the same amount of hours, but just splitting it now. So I'm actually on the tools about 30 hours a week and working in the business for the other 30, yeah. So it's actually working on strategy and... That's right, yep. And what difference do you think that has made, being able to get off the tools and actually focus on the business? We used to have really highs and low peaks. So you'd have a lot of work and then, 2 weeks later you'd have no work, and it's starting to flatten that out now. I'm able to chase the work and get it ready for the boys and the team so it continues on. Yeah, and so before you were doing that, was anybody sort of trying to fill that role, or was just... No, it'd be a case of if you didn't have work, you'd just be sitting there waiting for the phone to ring and... just sort of sitting around waiting. Not a good feeling, is it? No. Have you found that having a coach, what have you found by having a coach has been the biggest benefit for you? The biggest benefit, and probably the biggest surprise for me, was it wasn't about my business. It was about me and changing my mindset and how I think about things and get things done. So that to me was the biggest change. And I just feel with that now I'm a lot positive person about the way things are going, and that obviously just continues through to family life and everything else. Yeah, great stuff. So, And have you found having somebody there to hold you accountable to making sure that you do what you say you're going to do? Yeah, no, that at first that was really hard and difficult, sort of being told that you're the problem. but now I understand it, and to a point now where
if I feel comfortable, I'm in the wrong spot. I've got to get out of my comfort zone to make things happen. And they definitely keep me accountable for that.
Yeah, great lesson.
Yeah.
Great lesson, isn't it? And have you found, I mean, we've also, one of the things that we find a lot of our clients say is they love the community that we've built, and that, we have these quarterly workshops where people come along and network with their other members. We've got the online community. Do you find that that's a big part of what you enjoy as well?
Yeah, it's good because everybody shares their highs and their lows, which is really great. And it's good to know you're not alone in that situation. So no, I find that a big benefit.
Yeah, great stuff. And have you used any of the tools and resources for that we give you to run your business easier, like things like the forecasting tools or the templates, etc.?
Yeah, no, definitely. My wife being on the budget side of things, she's using all that all the time. I'm bombarded with budgeting and you've got to be here and there at a certain date. But definitely, it's the tools are fantastic.
Yeah, you found them to help save you a lot of time and help you with your business?
Definitely, yeah.
Great stuff. Now, what would you say to somebody who was thinking about coaching? We get a lot of people come to us, and because it's one of those things that's intangible, they can't really see what they're going to get. And of course, there's a lot of people out there doing different types of, whether it's business coaching or business advice or services, a lot of workshops and things. A lot of people are very skeptical and worried about making that step to actually start with somebody. What would you say to somebody that's considering taking on working with us? Yeah,
like if you're considering it, do it, definitely. Even if you're not considering it, do it. Yeah, don't let it get to a point where you need coaching to get yourself out of a problem. You're much better off being on top of it. You develop bad habits without it. And yeah, that's what I wish I would have done, is had the coach a lot quicker than we did.
Yeah. So you feel that if somebody did coaching, they're going to get success much quicker?
Oh, yeah. We've had to unlearn a lot of stuff before we can start learning it again. And, to wipe that out would have been fantastic.
Great stuff. And how long had you been in business before you took on a coach?
18 years.
18 years. Yeah. So in 18 years, you hadn't got to where you wanted to be?
No.
Yeah. So is this the best it's been for you in the 20 years of business?
Yeah, definitely. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's definitely made a huge impact for you guys.
Yeah. No,
all right. Well,
exactly.
Darren, I can't thank you enough, mate, for just sharing your insights with us. And I know it's going to help a lot of people that are thinking about whether or not coaching's for them. But even if coaching's not the right thing, or getting a help isn't the right thing for them, at least you may inspire them to actually do something about where they're at, because they can change.
No, that's great. No worries.
Thanks, mate.
Learn more to earn more.
So as you can hear from Darren there, sometimes it is about changing the way that you think. It's about understanding that you don't want to deal with every client. Sometimes you want to find the clients, not sometimes, all the time. You want to find the clients that you want to deal with, the ones that are going to pay you, and of course the ones that are going to make you the most money, because you're in business to make money. And I see too many business owners working really hard and unfortunately not making money from their business. And Darren was definitely in that situation. And I'm so grateful that we've been able to help Darren build his business now. Of course, if you're wondering how we can help you, because you may well be in that same position where you may be related to Darren and you want us to help you, head to maxmyprofit.com.au and you can book yourself in there for a complimentary business assessment, and one of the team will be able to see whether or not they can help you grow your business and help you out of those same issues. All right, my second guest for today's show is another amazing success story of a guy who, him and his wife, to use his words, he was winging it, and now he's gone to clarity and direction. And his name's Ben Choi. Now, Ben runs a company called Odalast, which is an IT solutions provider servicing small to medium enterprises, corporations, government departments, sort of in IT with making sure their infrastructure with their computers and stuff is working really well. His business is run with himself and his wife. It's a husband and wife team. And so if you're in that situation, you may relate to some of this. It's a one-stop shop where all clients' IT needs are taken care of in one place. Now, of course, if you want any plumbing done or you want any IT stuff done, these guys are fantastic. We know their businesses are top notch, so feel free to give them a call. So that's Odalast for Ben Choi. I think not too different from Darren. There are some similar issues going on, but different issues at the same time. And every business has some fundamentals that are the same that need to be fixed, but there's always different symptoms or different outcomes that are desired. And Ben really knew his stuff when it came to IT solutions, like Darren did when it came to plumbing, of course, because it was his field of expertise. But like many small business owners, his skills in running his business were lacking. The business was surviving, but only operating day by day. And without any clear direction or well-structured systems in place, place. And I think, for many business owners, that's a challenge. Now, Ben and his business partner realised that without some expert help, the business may not survive. So they decided to get some guidance through MaxMyProfit, working with one of our business accelerators. And his main challenge was to overcome included the lack of direction, poor systems, and he had this feeling of being overworked and overwhelmed. And you may be feeling that. So I think you're going to really enjoy this chat with Ben. Without any further delay, let's get Ben onto the Business Brain Food podcast.
Business Brain Food.
So joining me in the studio is Ben Troy from Otalis, and Ben has been a client now for quite some time with working with one of our business accelerators, or a couple of our business accelerators, growing his business. I'm so glad you could join me, Ben.
Thanks, Ben.
So maybe start off by explaining a little bit about your business, what it is that you do.
Okay, well, Otalis is a IT solutions provider, and we provide IT solutions to small, medium enterprises, corporates, and government departments.
Okay, so good IT backup support, and so you're running all the IT for people and solutions and software, and
yeah, generally we're engaged to basically look after the whole IT, so it's not just one aspect of it.
Yeah,
we're basically their one-stop shop go-to for IT.
Great stuff. Now, before you worked with one of our business accelerators and you jumped on the MaxMyProfit acceleration program, how would you describe your business?
At that time, the business was actually, quite bad. We had no direction of, what we were doing and long-term goals of what we were trying to achieve. We were just basically just running it as it is, just doing things and day by day and just, winging it as we went.
Yeah, like so many business owners do. So you didn't have a plan at that point?
I actually did a business plan, but it was really never completely finished, and we certainly didn't follow it through.
Yeah, okay. And do you have a plan now that you're using and you're working towards?
Now, yes, we do now. Obviously, it's a plan that we need to keep changing as we evolve, because the plan never stays the same. But at least we've got something more in place now that we're, trying to follow most of the time.
Great stuff. And how was things like, cash flow in your business before you're working with us?
Quite bad because, like I said, because we were just winging things as we went. Before we were actually missing revenue. There was things that we weren't billing for that we should have been billing for. And it was just because we were so focused on doing a job and then going on to the next job that we just forgot there was things that we needed to invoice, and we realised like 60, 90 days later, hell, we haven't even invoiced a client for this.
No. So many business owners do that though, don't they? You see that happen a lot.
Yeah, because you're so focused on doing the work that a lot of that admin side of the business just, falls behind, and before you know it, it's out of control. Yeah,
okay. So before you're working with us, you were sort of lacking direction, cash flow wasn't great, you're working day by day. That'd be
yep.
Sum it up,
yep.
yeah.
Yep.
So what have been the changes then since working with? I mean, how long have you been working with my team?
It's probably been about 18 months now.
Yep.
So quite a long time.
Yeah, and after this 18 months, what have you seen have been the key differences? Are you now feeling that you've got direction and cash flows in a better position? Well,
the key differences have been that now we do have a direction of where we're trying to go. So we've worked a lot on processes and our systems, which is, again, something that we didn't have in place previously. So we've really worked hard at the systems and processes to make sure that, when we're bringing on new clients, and even for a matter of fact, the existing clients, that we've got that more structured approach and we know what we need to be doing in terms of servicing those contracts.
Yeah, and was that an issue before, that you bring a client on and it wasn't clear what had to be done, or?
Certainly, yeah.
Okay,
so we would be bringing on clients but have no real onboarding process of what we needed to do for the client. We knew in our heads what needed to be done, but we didn't actually document that process down on paper.
Yeah, okay. And how much has working with your business accelerator help you achieve those things? How important has it been? Has it been a big part of it, or do you think you would have got that done anyway? Or?
No, without working with the business accelerator, we would never have done that. So this is where I'm seeing the benefits working with the business accelerator is that we have, even though these systems and processes don't necessarily bring you revenue in the door, they are still related. And without having that, then it makes it very difficult to actually have any direction or consistency in your business. So it's definitely helped focusing on doing implementing systems and structures.
Yeah, I'm interested to know, these you've made a lot of changes, obviously 18 months. A lot of people, you said 18 months is quite a long time, but in a business sense, it's probably not a real long time, is it?
No.
And I know, we get a lot of people coming to us wanting that quick fix, and obviously there is no quick fix. There's no magic bullet or magic wand fix to a business. And after 18 months, you've made a lot of changes. How are you feeling now about the future of Otalas and the business itself?
Well, I'm feeling much more positive than before. Obviously, I always knew that what Otalas was offering was good, or else we wouldn't have started the business. And we know that we've got something really genuine to give to the market. It was a matter of just getting, systems, processes into place to make sure that we structured ourselves so that we could deliver the best technology services to our clients.
Yeah, great stuff. And how would you say that we've helped you with the mindset as well? Because, I think mindset's a very important part of running a business and having that. You must have been feeling exhausted and worn out and, things weren't going in a great direction or lacked focus. Were you feeling drained by the business before you started with us?
Yes. So before working with MaxMyProfit, my mindset was completely negative. Like, things always brought me down, things that I couldn't change. I got too emotional about things working with clients. So that was a big thing for myself. But since working with MaxMyProfit, that has definitely changed. Not saying that it's still not a challenge sometimes today, but I definitely have a better mindset now. And I don't think the mindset that I've got today, I would have not have gotten to that had I had not started working with someone like MaxMyProfit.
So when deciding to make that transition from being, doing it on your own, I know that's, for most of us, I've been in business all my life, and I know many people listening to this have been in business for a long time, and they may be struggling with the fact, well, do I get someone to come in and help me? Is that a sign of failure? How did you cope with that transition of going from having to admit that, maybe I do need some help and I better go and find someone to help me?
For me, it was clearly obvious that if I did not get help, then I wasn't going to have the business that I wanted. In actual fact, I don't think the business would have survived. It was one of those things that I just know I needed to do, and that was a result of, certain things that had been happening at the business at that time. And I just decided enough's enough, and I just had to do it.
You had to make the change. Okay, yeah. So you're in that position, because I always use the analogy of being caught in a rip. And sometimes people are just starting to get caught in the rip. Some people have been in the rip for a while, have had, and they're drowning and they're putting their hands up. So you'd sort of say you're about that latter stage where you felt that the business wasn't going to survive if you didn't do something.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Interesting to know. So the future, you said the future looks bright and you're excited about it. What are the long-term goals now? Have you changed the vision of where you're going? As working with us open your eyes up to new opportunities?
It has. And we've basically, in terms of, has our vision changed? Yes, the markets that we're sort of targeting for our services has also changed. So like I said, we are more focused on the SMEs, the corporate and the government market. There's lots of opportunities there, and that's where we feel that the services that we've got to offer will add value to those target markets.
Yeah, great stuff. And so you've got a lot clearer about your strategy as well as a result?
Yep. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Fantastic. And what are some of the tangible differences you've seen? Because it's all good that you feel better, you feel more focused, and you've got a plan and you've got direction. There must be some tangible results of that. Like have you reduced your hours you're working? Have you increased the money you're making, or have sales gone up? What have you seen as a very tangible benefit, so you can substantiate or validate a return on investment?
Well, certainly working a lot less now than what I was before working with MaxMyProfit. So previously I was probably doing 80 to 100 hours a week. Certainly these days I'm not doing anywhere near that. It's probably more to 40 to 60 hours a week. Yeah, hours have definitely been reduced. In terms of revenue, the revenue is up slightly, but to be honest, my focus in starting to work with MaxMyProfit was not to increase revenue. It was other factors that I didn't like about what was happening in the business and knew that I needed assistance with that. But yeah, it does help that the revenue is up slightly. It's probably up 10 to 15% since we started working.
That's still respectable, isn't it?
Yeah. Since working with MaxMyProfit, we have signed some big project work. And again, we wouldn't have been able to sign those had we have not engaged MaxMyProfit, because we wouldn't have gone through the process of fixing up our business with what we needed to in order to win that work.
Yeah, great stuff. And what about personally? How have you felt it's personally benefited you?
Personally, I've found that our Business Accelerator, it's a person that I can speak to because I actually run Otillis as a husband and wife team. Sometimes I need that third person to speak to. So I really feel like it's a sounding board sometimes to work with the Business Accelerator when I don't feel things are going right or I'm just stuck, don't know what to do about certain things. So I think personally it's been a great achievement for me because I can use it as a soundboard.
Yeah, so having that one-on-one help, assistance, that person that you can talk to has been a great benefit for you.
Yep, certainly has. Yeah.
And what about the tools and resources that we provide, the templates and the tools and resources and the additional training? Have you found that to be of an assistance?
Yep, I mean, no longer do we have to go and put some of those tools together from scratch. I mean, now we can just go into the portal. There's a lot of good, useful documentation that is there. So we've been able to use some of that documentation and some of the spreadsheets that are in there in terms of cash flow to really work out what we need to be achieving in terms of our business numbers. And if we didn't have that information, we probably wouldn't be doing it today because it's something that we would have had to have put together ourselves. And as you know, most business owners, they don't have time for that. So that's been a really good help.
Yeah, so the tools have been important. And the other aspect a lot of our members really love is the community. Have you tapped into the community to find that a useful thing to network with other like-minded entrepreneurs?
Yeah, I really like the idea of the quarterly growth clubs because it is an opportunity to mingle with some of the other members. And, you get to discuss in an informal environment possibly the same issues that other business owners are having that I might be having. So it's a good environment to sort of mingle with people and get to know other members and, just talk about what, might be happening in their businesses.
Yeah, great stuff. I hear that a lot. There's a lot of people really enjoy those days. And, those quarterly workshops are a big part of our programs because it helps you not only network, but also learn that there are other people going through the same issues and facing the same issues that you're facing. So it's good to hear that. So if someone was considering working with us in any capacity, whether they were going to take on a one-on-one business accelerator or join one of our training courses, but were hesitant, maybe wondering whether or not it was worth it or whether they'd get a return on investment, what would you say to that person?
Well, I would say just do it. I mean, it's a cliche, but it's one of the greatest things that you could do for your business because not every one person has the answers. It's very hard as it is running a business, and you really need to get the support and advice from others. So my advice to people, look, if you're looking to working with people who can help with your business and give you guidance and advice, I think it's definitely something that you should be doing.
Fantastic stuff. Well, thanks so much for your time, Ben. It's been great chatting to you today, and I wish you all the best in the future. It sounds like your business is going places, and you're going places, which is awesome.
Thanks, Ben.
Learn more to earn more.
Well, hopefully listening to Ben and Darren's story today has really helped you understand, some of the challenges that are faced, that you're not the only one, right? You're not alone. And as I said in between the two interviews, if you think you're in a position where you would like to get some help or you'd like to talk to one of my team or myself about seeing whether or not working with one of my business accelerators or joining one of my programs is for you, then head to maxmyprofit.com.au and you can opt in there for a complimentary business assessment where we'll have a chat with you. And what we do is we work out where you're at, where you want to go, and whether or not we can help you. We'll show you how if we can. If not, we'll also let you know that. We're not in the business of bringing people on we can't help. We really do love working with people that we can help. The other good news too is it doesn't matter what size business you're in. We have programs starting from just $10 per day. I mean, what's that? That's lunch, isn't it? It's like a burger and a can of Coke or something, So just $10 a day. And, that'll get you started, on our base program, but it'll at least get you started. It'll give you some resources, some training, and access to our community of clients. We've got hundreds of clients in our community that you can join and, get you to be part of that and help you grow your business and overcome your challenges. And, imagine taking your business to where, it is running smoothly, you're having fun doing it, you're making money, you're enjoying yourself, and, it's expanding and growing all the time, and it's easy. That's what business should be, and let us help you do that. All right, I just wanted to remind you, I'm on the east coast of Australia in March, Brisbane, Sydney, and where else? Melbourne. really forgot that. Brisbane, City and Melbourne. And I think I'm also in Newcastle at some stage. So if you want to come to a live event, free 2-hour session, businessfasttrack.com.au. All the information's there, venues and times, along with what I'm presenting at this free training. I've totally changed up and got a new presentation where I'm taking you through the 5 stages of business growth. And I'm going to show you step by step the stages you should be taking your business through to grow. And I'd help you identify the areas where you may need some help, some work. And, you know, like I said at the beginning, all you need is one idea, just one idea. Imagine if you just got one idea that increased your conversion rate or number of leads you're getting in your business, or, you know, helps you make your business more profitable. It would be worth your time. Free event. Usually, you know, in the mornings, sometimes in the middle of the day, but go and check it out. I try and make them at times that it's going to work for everybody. businessfasttrack.com.au. Alrighty, well, that's it for this week's episode. I hope you've enjoyed listening to those 2 case studies with Ben and Darren, and I thank both of those guys for opening up and being willing to jump on the microphone, because I know that can be a little bit nerve-wracking its own, but it's awesome to be able to share our client success stories with you, and I really am proud of what it is that me and my team are able to do and how we help business owners to grow. I think it's awesome. Now, on that note, I wanted to let you know about a brand new service that we've launched. It's been really, really popular. In fact, so popular that we're getting a little bit snowed under. But I want to let you know about it because it is popular, and there may be a chance that you would like to use this service. And that is that we are developing marketing plans for you. So that means that we are, you know, if you're too busy, and I always say to people, you've got 2 things you can invest in your business. One is your time, or one is your money. If you've got no time, you're going to have to invest money. If you've got no money, you're going to have to invest time. And if you've got neither of those 2 things, you're in trouble. But what we find when we're working with people is that they lack the time, and you know, if they can see a return on investment, it's worthwhile finding the money to make the investment. So yeah, we're doing marketing plans. It takes somewhere between 4 and 8 weeks for us to do it. Where we have a 3-stage process. First is to get the marketing insights and, you know, have a look at who your ideal client is, what your competitors are doing, and work out what you should be doing to market your business. The second step then is to then identify all the different strategies, methodologies, offers, etc., that we can make for you. And then the third stage is to put together your marketing plan with a blow-by-blow calendar of all the things that have to be done, so you know what to do, when to do it, and how to do it. And it's been extremely popular. So if you would like some help growing your business, or you want us just to do your marketing plan for you, or we can even do the marketing for you. We can give you our our marketing accelerator, and our marketing accelerator will do the marketing for you, so you don't have to worry about it. We'll build a plan, and we'll do all the execution. We'll do it all for you. Then go to MaxMyProfit.com.au. Once again, book yourself in for a business assessment, and we'll be more than happy to have a chat with you about that and see if we can help. Now, that's pretty much it. We've got to the end of the show. It's been an absolute pleasure once again on the Business Brainfood podcast having you as my guest. I've really enjoyed it. Always enjoy doing these. And, you know, next week we will resume normal programming with a guest, one guest rather than 2. But, you know, give me some feedback. Be interested to hear what you thought about listening to the case studies. You know, a lot of people love the case studies. People said to me, Ben, can you get some more case studies on the show? Well, there you go. We've got 2 case studies in 1 week. Let me know what you thought. Until next week, have a profitable day.
You can fly high.